Hello there and welcome to Black Jackal Gaming. We're going to take a look at the Invictor Tactical Warsuit, which is one of the primary scout walkers that come with the Indomitus Crusade. It's got a decent amount of low strength and AP firepower, and it's got plenty of keywords on the weapons to utilise them. Got quite a strong melee attack. It does have a nice ability to return fire when near foe boss units. It's got the Scout's keyword, so you can get plenty of early board control with him. And he can play quite well in the majority of the detachments in Codex Space Marines, but he can come across as a bit of a budget redempted dreadnought really. Taking a look at the datasheet, comes in at 140 points, and has movement 8, toughness 8, 3 up save, 12 wounds, leadership 6, and quite a nice objective control 4. He does have deadly demise D3, so when he's destroyed on a D6, if you roll a 6, he will do D3 mortal wounds to all units within 6 inches. And of course he comes with the Scout's 8 inch, so this is a pre-game move. Once you've deployed, you can move him up to 8 inches, which is quite a nice ability. For his range profile, it comes at Ballistic Skill 3. Now he's got a fair few weapons to go through. First off, we've got the Fragstorm grenade launcher. This comes with the blast keyword, so that gives you +1 attack per 5 models in the unit. Has 18-inch range, D6 shots, strength 4, 0 AP, 1 damage. Then we have the twin Iron Hail Stubber. This is rapid fire 3 and is twin linked, so you can reroll the wound rolls. It comes with 36-inch range, 3 shots, strength 4, 0 AP, 1 damage. We're up to the final piece of normal equipped weapons now for the lighter attacks. This is the Heavy Bolter, comes with sustained hits 1. It's got 36-inch range, 3 attacks, strength 5, -1 AP, 2 damage. Next we have the heavier option that comes with the Tactical Warsuit. You get 2 options. First up, the Incendium Cannon. This ignores cover and gives torrent, so it auto hits. It's got a 12-inch range, D6 plus 3 attacks, strength 6, -1 AP and 1 damage. Finally, we have the Twin Iron Hail Autocannon, also twin linked, 40-inch range, 3 attacks, strength 9, -1 AP and a nice 3 damage. For his melee profile, he comes in with weapon skill 3, and he has his Invictor Fists. This is 5 attacks, strength 14, -2 AP, 3 damage. Finally, we have the abilities for the Invictor Tactical Warsuit, and his is called Combat Support. So once per turn, after a full boss unit has been targeted by the enemy and they've resolved their attacks, when this unit is within 6 inches, you can shoot back at this shooting unit as if it's the shooting phase, but it must be an eligible target to shoot back at. So the Invictor Warsuit actually has a decent profile. It's got a decent amount of low level firepower, but with the ability, what it actually allows you to do is potentially shoot 3 times per battle round. So you get to shoot in your shooting phase. You've potentially then got the ability to overwatch in their movement or charge phase, and you've got the ability to shoot back during their shooting phase if they target a full boss unit within 6 inches of this model. So you've got quite a lot of utility there, and it's got a decent amount of damage via its melee. The strength 14 is going to punch through almost everything in the game. It's not going to wound anything on higher than a 3 really. So that's really nice. The -2 AP is decent enough, and the 3 damage is quite nice. So he's quite a versatile unit with a lot of movement built into his base profile. So what buffs and combos can you give to the Invictor Tactical Warsuit? Well, the standard one is the Tech Marine for the +1 to the hit roll, and he can heal him. You're very unlikely to get that close to the Tactical Warsuit with him, so this probably isn't going to come up that much. So probably something, unless you're going to have him sit in the back line with the auto cannon and maybe have the shoot back ability with the full boss, you're probably not going to use the Tech Marine unless it's in that manner. Really, you want to activate his ability to be able to shoot back, so you want to pair him with a full boss unit. A lot of units are going to be targeting the full boss unit. They're going to be weakest strength and toughness units, so his high rate of low strength AP firepower should do quite well into them. So what detachments is he going to do in? Well, there's a fair few that he's quite good. First up, we'll go with the Ironstone Spearhead. You get an inbuilt detachment rule of re-rolling a hit, wound or damage roll per phase, which is quite nice because you might be utilizing him in shooting and in combat as well. If you're having the ability to overwatch, you might be getting this reroll to hit, wound, 3 times in a turn, which is quite nice. Then you've got the Target Augury Web, which is a piece of war gear, which goes in your Tech Marine. This gives a 6-inch aura for lethal hits. There's another piece of war gear called the Machine of War. This allows units to advance and fall back and still shoot when they're within 6 inches of the character, which is very nice. There's their Mercy's Weakness, which is a stratagem. This gives you sustained hits 1 and critical hits on a 5+ when targeting a unit below half strength, which is really nice. And then there's the Ancient Fury stratagem. Until your next command phase, you can increase the movement, toughness, leadership, and objective control by 1. He also gets +1 to hit in melee, which is really nice because you might want to be utilizing that, especially late on or even early on. If you're going to give him that additional objective control, movement, and toughness, you can get a lot of early turn charges off. And that +1 to hit, putting him on a 2s to hit in melee, and if it's into your officer moment target, you're re-rolling those ones, you're going to get a lot of versatility out of this guy using this stratagem. Next, we have the Anvil Siege Force. So this is more of you using them as a defensive piece, maybe holding an objective. You'll gain the heavy keyword, so you get +1 to hit when stationary. And then there's the Battle Drill Recall stratagem, which gives you sustained hits 1, and these critical hit on a 5+ if you remain stationary. Now, some of your weapons already have the sustained hits 1, but to get that across the board and have it go off on a 5+ is very nice. Next up, we've got the Stormlands Task Force. The detachment rule allows you to advance and fall back and still be able to charge. So allowing you to have that early and late turn charges. If you want to maximize your damage early on, you can really get your first turn charge off and target key units and try and do as much damage as possible. There's a stratagem called a Blitzing Fusillade. Ranged weapons gain the assault keyword, so you're able to use all of your weapons to shoot when you're advancing and then still get your charge off. Then there's a stratagem called Wind Swift Evasion. When an enemy unit finishes a normal advance or fallback move within 9 inches, you can move this model up to 6 inches. So if you do utilize that scout move at the start of the game and you don't go first, this gives you the ability to potentially get out of the way of charges or just grant you additional movement early on to put you in a more advantageous position. Next up, we have the Firestorm Assault Force. This detachment rule, you gain the assault keyword, and when you're within 12 inches you get +1 to strength, so this is really nice if you decide to go for the incendium cannon, so you'll be strength 7 on it then, and you can advance until shoot. There's a stratagem that then links into this really well called the Immolation Protocol. So your torrent weapons, which is your incendiary cannon, they'll gain the devastating wounds keyword, which is very nice. And finally, we have the Vanguard Spearhead. So when you're outside of 12 inches, you're -1 to hit and you gain the benefits of cover. And the stratagem you can use, which is really nice, is Guerrilla Tactics. At the end of the opponent's fight phase, you can move up to 2 Phobos units into strategic reserve, but they must be more than 3 inches away from an enemy unit. So potentially you could move 2 Invictor Warsuits because it does not have the infantry keyword. So as you can see, there's a lot of versatility in the unit. When I started this and started looking at the datasheet, I was kind of leaning towards the lines of that it's not a particularly good datasheet, it's a bit weak, it doesn't have enough firepower, and the scout keyword, whilst good, probably won't really be that useful because he is a little bit less on the durable side. But looking at his flexibility and the play you're going to get out of him, especially more casually competitive games, if you want to, say for example, pair him with infiltrators and you perhaps give them a librarian, so they're a 3-up, 4-up, they got a 4-up feel no pain against mortal psychic attacks. They've also got the inbuilt 6-up feel no pain, and then you put them on your home objective with this guy babysitting them, not on the objective, so they've got to target the infiltrator unit. He then gets to shoot back as well, and if they do try and push onto it, he gets to overwatch, and then he's good in melee. And if you're not going for that, then you've got like the Stormlands Task Force, you've basically got a guaranteed first turn charge, so you can really hammer home some early damage to key units, and you still got the opportunity for first turn charges if you're not in the Stormlands. It's just slightly less efficient. There's quite a bit of play in this guy. If you take him in the Vanguard Spearhead, if you take 2 using the Guerrilla Tactic stratagem to remove them from the board, is really nice. It gives your opponent a lot to think about. There's a lot of keywords built into the unit, and there's a lot of stratagems that can be used. There's the ability is quite nice. It's going to really disrupt your opponent's plan and may make him focus on these units when he should potentially be focusing elsewhere on the battlefield. Thank you for watching the video. If you have any comments, then pop them below in the comment section. If you enjoyed the video, then please hit the like button as it greatly helps the channel. Hit the subscribe button to see any future Warhammer content. Take it easy and see you next time for more grim darkness from the 41st millennium.